Maya, Season 1. Episode 1. The 4-second pause. 4 seconds. That is how long the silence lasted. 4 seconds that changed everything. But we are not there yet. My name is Maya Santos. I am 24 years old. I grew up in a small house in Cebu, Philippines, with my mother, my grandmother, and a ceiling fan that stopped working in 2019 and never got fixed. My mother worked 14-hour days as a seamstress so I could study. My grandmother told me every single morning, "Maya, your English will open every door." She said it the way people say prayers, quietly, repeatedly. Like if she stopped, the doors would close. I believed her. I studied English the way some people study for survival, because it was survival. I read every book the school library had. I watched American television with subtitles, then without. I practiced pronunciation alone in my room at night, so my mother would not hear me and worry that I was losing my mind. By the time I was 22, my English was exceptional, on paper. This is the part nobody warns you about. There is the English you study, and there is the English that lives inside rooms, inside meetings, inside negotiations, inside the 4 seconds of silence where everything is decided before a single word is spoken. I did not know about that English yet. I arrived in Singapore on a Tuesday morning in March. The city looked like a photograph of the future. Glass towers, clean streets, air that smelled like possibility, and air conditioning. I had $300, one suitcase, and a job interview at a financial consulting firm in 48 hours. The interview was on the 14th floor of a building that had a waterfall in the lobby, an actual waterfall. I stood in front of it for 2 full minutes before I got in the elevator. The interviewer's name was Richard Tan, 50 years old, silver hair, the kind of man who had been making decisions his entire life and had the stillness to prove it. He looked at my resume. He looked at me. He said, "Tell me about yourself." I had prepared for this. I had practiced it 47 times. 47. I had timed myself. I had recorded myself on my phone and listened back and corrected every sentence. I spoke for 90 seconds. Everything I had prepared, every word in its place. When I finished, Richard Tan looked at me. He did not speak immediately. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. On the 4th second, I panicked. I thought he had not understood me. I thought I had made a terrible mistake somewhere in the 90 seconds. I thought the waterfall in the lobby was the last beautiful thing I was going to see in Singapore. So I started talking again. I repeated things I had already said. I added things I had not planned to say. I explained sentences that did not need explaining. I talked for 40 more seconds that I cannot fully remember because my brain was in full emergency mode. When I finally stopped, Richard Tan nodded slowly. He said, "Thank you, Maya. We'll be in touch." The kind of tone that means they will not be in touch. I took the elevator down 14 floors. I walked past the waterfall. I sat on a bench outside the building, and I called my mother in Cebu. She answered on the second ring. I said, "I don't think it went well." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "What happened?" I said, "I talked too much." She said, "You always talk too much when you're scared." I said, "I know." She said, "Come home." I said, "Not yet." That was the moment. Not the interview, not the waterfall, not Richard Tan's slow nod. The moment was me sitting on that bench saying, quote, "Not yet." Because here is what I did not know sitting on that bench. I did not know that Richard Tan's 4-second pause was not judgment. It was processing. It was respect. In professional English culture, silence after someone speaks means I am taking what you said seriously. I did not know that my panic had cost me more than my preparation had earned me. I did not know that the 4-second pause is actually a gift. It means the other person is thinking. It means what you said landed. The correct response to a 4-second pause is nothing. Absolute silence. Hold it. Trust it. Let it work. But I was 24 years old, and I had $300 and a ceiling fan in Cebu that stopped working in 2019. I did not know how to hold silence yet. I did not know that holding silence is a skill, that it can be practiced, that the people who understand it walk into rooms differently. They speak less and are heard more. They pause and the room leans in. They hold 4 seconds like it costs them nothing because they know what it costs the other person. I found out 3 weeks later that I did not get the job. I also found out something else. Richard Tan had left a note on my file. 3 words. Strong candidate, overthought. 2 words had ended my first opportunity in Singapore. But they also gave me the most important sentence anyone ever said to me about my English. Not wrong vocabulary. Not wrong grammar. Not wrong accent. Overthought. I read that word on a Tuesday afternoon, sitting on the floor of a room I was renting for $450 a month from a woman named Mrs. Chen, who left a plate of food outside my door every morning without saying why. I read it and I understood for the first time that English fluency is not about filling silence. It is about knowing when silence is already doing the work. I started over. Every morning for the next 3 weeks, I practiced the pause. I would ask myself a question, answer it, and then sit in the silence for 4 full seconds before I continued. 4 seconds that felt like 4 minutes. 4 seconds that felt like the ceiling fan in my mother's house. 4 seconds that felt like, wait. Trust it. Let it breathe. By the end of 3 weeks, 4 seconds felt like nothing. By the end of 6 weeks, I had a second interview. Different company, different floor. 10th this time, no waterfall. The interviewer asked, "Tell me about yourself." I spoke for 90 seconds. Everything in its place. She looked at me. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, 4. I held it. Not because I was confident, not because I had become a different person, but because I had practiced what it felt like to trust 4 seconds of silence over and over until my body believed it, even when my mind was still scared. On the 5th second, she smiled. She said, "That was a very clear and thoughtful answer." I said, "Thank you." I got the job. The 4-second pause is the first thing they never teach you about English. It is not about what you say. It is about what you allow to exist after you say it. Hold the silence. Let it do the work. The room will fill it with exactly what you need. Their attention, their respect, their decision that you belong there. 3 expressions from today. First, when someone is silent after you speak, do not fill it. Say nothing. Count to 4. Trust the pause. Second, we'll be in touch. This phrase in a professional setting almost always means the conversation is over and a decision has been made. Do not ask follow-up questions immediately. Thank them, stand up, leave gracefully. Third, strong candidate. This is what English speakers say when they respect someone's ability, but something else prevented selection. It is not consolation. It is information. Use it. Maya Santos got her first job in Singapore on a Thursday. She started on Monday. On Sunday night, she called her mother. Her mother said, "I told you your English would open every door." Maya said, "It wasn't my English, Mama." Her mother said, "Then what was it?" Maya said, I learned when to stop talking. Her mother laughed for a long time. Then she said, "Your grandmother would have loved that." Maya looked out the window of her $450 room at the lights of Singapore. She thought about Mrs. Chen's plate of food outside her door every morning. She had never found out why. She was going to find out tomorrow. She did not know yet that Mrs. Chen's answer was going to change everything. Next episode, Maya finds out why Mrs. Chen left the food and what it costs her.